Good day everyone, I am Irish Jean Ramos Ledesma from BS Ed English 1A. I am the little teacher of Study Hub 4. For today's video, we're going to discuss about the 6 stories on child and adolescence development. So what we're waiting for, let's get started.
Hi, I'm Aeroglance A. Chavez and I'm the first presenter of the Study Hub 4. So here in this video, I will be discussing about Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory. Sigmund Freud is one of the most famous names in psychology, even though most of his ideas have been abandoned by modern psychology. His psychoanalytic theory formed the basis for many current psychodynamic theories. Freud was the first to discuss the unconscious mind and its role in human behavior. Freud believed that there were 3 levels of consciousness. First is the unconscious mind, which exists outside of your awareness at all times. Next is the preconscious mind, which includes all information that you are not currently aware of, but that can be recalled. Finally, the conscious mind is your current state of awareness. Remember the cartoons you used to watch as a child? The main character is confronted with a choice. On his left shoulder is a little devil pushing him toward a bad choice. On his right shoulder, a little angel is encouraging him to make a good choice. He is stuck in the middle of the force to make a decision that will affect him. This scenario is much like Freud's theory of personality. There are 3 parts to personality according to Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory. These are the ID, superego, and ego. The ID is the first to develop, the ego is second, and the superego is the last to develop. The ID is the biological component of the personality and includes your instincts. The ID operates in our conscious mind. It is like the little devil sitting in a cage. It is like sitting on the cartoon's character's shoulder that is always selfish and needy. It operates according to the pleasure principle. The pleasure principle is the idea that all your needs should be met immediately. Then there is the superego. The superego exists in all 3 levels of consciousness. The superego is like the little angel. It is always concerned with what is socially acceptable. The superego pushes you to obtain the ego ideal or your view what is right. It is also represents your conscious or your view that is considered to be wrong. Finally, we have the ego. The ego operates in your preconscious and conscious mind. The ego is part of your personality that makes your decisions. This is always like the cartoon character in the example. The ego is in the middle, makes the decision and faces the consequences. The ego operates according to the reality principle. The reality principle is the ideal. The reality principle is the idea that the desires of the ID must be satisfied in a method that is both socially appropriate and realistic. The ego must mediate the demands of the ID, the superego, and reality. You know how our consciousness interacts to determine behavior according to Freud? But what motivates our behavior? The answer to this is what we are motivated by our instincts. Freud also believed that much of our human behavior was motivated by 2 driving instincts, life instincts and death instincts. Life instincts, from the Greek word eros, are those that relate to a basic need or survival, reproduction, and pleasure. They include such things as the need for food, shelter, love, and sex. Death instincts, Greek word thanatos, are the result of an unconscious wish for death, which Freud believed all humans have. Self-destructive behavior was one of the expression of the death drive according to Freud. However, he believed that these death instincts were largely tempered by life instincts. Sigmund Freud introduces the personality fixation. These are oral, anal, and phallic. Oral shows the oral activities such as smoking, dependency, and aggression. Anal is where it starts the obsessiveness, tidiness, generosity. Lastly, phallic is an abnormal family setup leading to unusual relationship with mother or father that include as vanity, self-obsession, sexual anxiety, inadequacy, inferiority, and envy. His daughter Anna Freud developed these ideas and elaborated on them, adding 10 of her own. Many psychoanalysts have also added further types of ego defenses. This is called the defense mechanism. The first one is the repression. Repression is an unconscious mechanism employed by the ego to keep disturbing or threatening thoughts from becoming conscious. During the Oedipus complex, aggressive thoughts about the same-sex parents are repressed. Next is the denial. The denial involves the blocking external events from awareness. If some situation is just too much to handle, the person just refuses to experience it. For example, smokers may refuse to admit to themselves that smoking is bad for their health. Projection. This involves the individuals attributing their own unacceptable thoughts, feelings, and motives to another person. You might hate someone, but your superego tells you that such hatred is unacceptable, that you can solve the problem by believing that they hate you. Displacement is a satisfying impulse with substitute object. An example, someone who is frustrated by his or her boss at work may go home and kick the dog. Regression. This is a movement back in the psychological time when one is faced with stress. An example, a child may begin to suck their thumb again or wet the bed when they need to spend some time in the hospital. Lastly is the sublimation. Sublimation is a satisfying impulse with a substitute object in a socially unacceptable way. For example, sport is an example of putting our emotions, like an aggression, into something constructive.
Today, I will discuss to you the Jean Piaget theories. Stages of cognitive development has 4 stages. First, with the 0 to 2 years old sensory motor. Explore the world through senses and actions by touching, hearing, mouthing, grasping, and looking. Example, a baby explores by looking at or touching and putting things in their mouth. Development, they learn that things still exist even they can see. That is the object permanence. And also may feel scared around stranger. That is the stranger anxiety. Next, we have the 2 to 7 years old, which is the pre-operational stage. Represent and refer to objects and events with words or images. Use intuitive rather than logical reasoning. Believe inanimate object possess human feelings and emotions. Development pretend play. Example, a child pretends a banana is a phone while playing. Development, they enjoy pretend playing but often think everyone sees things as they do. That is their egocentrism. Next, we have the 7 to 11 years old, which is the concrete operational. Conserve and reserve their thinking and classify objects. Think logically, understand analogies, but only about concrete events. A development is conservatism, egocentrism, and mathematical. Example, a child can sort toys by color or size and understand that the same amount of liquid looks different in different cups. That is their conservation. Development, they can do basic math and understand that adding and subtracting can go in any order. Next, we have the 12 plus years old, which is the formal operational. Use abstract reasoning, but about hypothetical events, situations, consider logical possibilities, and systematically examine test hypotheses. Development, abstract logic potential for mature moral reasoning. Example, a teenager can solve math problems that involve letters and think about different possibilities, outcomes in a story. Development, they can think about complex ideas and make moral decisions, understanding the effects of their choices. And the summary of Jean Piaget theory is show that children actively learn and build their understanding of the world through their experiences. That's all for Jean Piaget theories.
Here are the 5 main points of Lev-Vygotsky theory of social cultural development. First, we have the social learning. Vygotsky believed that children learn best through social interactions with others, including parents, caregivers, teachers, peers. This social learning involves observing, imitating others, engaging in conversations and discussions, collaborating on tasks and projects, plus receiving feedback and guidance. Secondly, the zone of proximal development. The CPD refers to the gap between what children can do independently without help, with guidance from more knowledgeable others. The CPD refers range of tasks that are too difficult to independent completion, achievable with scaffolding and support. Third, we have the scaffolding. Scaffolding involves temporary support guidance provide the more knowledgeable others to help children to reach their CPD includes breaking tasks into manageable steps, providing demonstration and models, offering hints and prompts, gradually releasing responsibility to the child. Fourth, culture shapes cognition. Vygotsky emphasized that culture, tools, practices, and values influence the development. This includes the language, communication styles, social norms and expectations, cultural values and beliefs, access to technology and resources. 5. The internalization. Let me ask you again. Let me say this to you again. Internalization. Okay, this refers to the process to integrating knowledge, skills, and understanding into one's own cognitive framework. This occurs through active engagement and participation, reflection and self-regulation, rehearsal and practice, integration, existing knowledge, and experiences. Well, this process enables the children to transform to social knowledge into personal understanding, making learning meaningful and lasting experience. Well, that's all the 5 principles of Lev-Vygotsky. So that's it.
I'm the 4th presenter of Study Hub 4, so I will be discussing about Erik Erikson's psychosocial development. Erik Erikson was a renowned psychologist and psychoanalyst who is best known for his theory of psychological development. His theory, which is often referred to as the Erikson's stages of psychosocial development, outlines the various stages of development that individuals go through from infancy to adulthood, and the important psychological and social tasks they face at each stage. Erikson's theory builds on the work of Sigmund Freud, but places a stronger emphasis on the role of society and culture in shaping individuals' development. According to Erikson, each stages of development is marked by a specific crisis or conflict that individuals must resolve in order to develop a healthy sense of self and navigate the challenges of each stage. First is we have the first stage, which occurs during infancy, is the trust versus mistrust stage. This is when infants learn to trust the world around them and develop a sense of security. Caregivers play a critical role in helping infants navigate this stage by providing consistent and nurturing care. The second stage, which is the autonomy versus shame and love, occurs during early childhood. This is when children begin to explore their independence and develop a sense of self-control. The third stage is the initiative versus guilt, occurs during preschool age. This is when children begin to assert themselves and take on new challenges. The fourth stage, which is the industry versus inferiority, occurs during middle childhood. This is when children develop a sense of competence and mastery in their abilities. Teachers and peers play an important role in this stage by providing opportunities for children to develop their skills and feel successful. The fifth stage, which is the identity versus role confusion, occurs during adolescence. This is when adolescents begin to explore their identity and develop a sense of self. Peers, mentors, and role models can help adolescents navigate this stage by providing support, guidance, and opportunities for self-discovery. The sixth stage is the intimacy versus isolation, occurs during young adulthood. This is when individuals from close and meaningful relationship with others, friends, family, and romantic partners can help young adults navigate this stage by providing support, love, and companionship. The seventh stage, which is the generativity versus stagnation, occurs during middle adulthood. This is when individuals focus on contributing to the well-being of future generations and finding meaning and fulfillment in their life. The last stage, which is the eighth stage, the ego integrity versus despair, occurs during late adulthood. This is when individuals reflect on their lives and come to terms with their past experiences. Supportive relationships, a sense of accomplishment, and meaningful connection can help individuals find peace and fulfillment in this stage. So that's all the 8 stages of Erik Erikson theory. So this theory has had a profound influence on our understanding of psychological development and continues to be a valuable framework for understanding the challenges and growth opportunities that individuals face at different stages of life. Erik Erikson's theory of psychological development offers valuable insights into the complex and dynamic nature of human development. By understanding the challenges and tasks that individuals face at each stage, we can better support and nurture their healthy development. The next is we have the fifth theory, which is the stages of moral development by Lawrence Kohlberg. Lawrence Kohlberg was a psychologist who developed a theory of moral development in the 1950s and 1960s. His theory, which is often referred to as the stages of moral development, outlines the ways in which individuals progress through different levels and stages of moral reasoning. According to Kohlberg, there are 6 stages of moral development which are grouped into 3 levels: pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. The first level, which is the pre-conventional morality, is characterized by a focus on self-interest and self-avoidance of punishment. At the first stage, children are motivated by the fear of punishment and obedience to authority. At the second stage, individuals begin to consider the needs and perspectives of others, but their actions are still primarily motivated by self-interest. The second level, which is the conventional morality, is centered around conformity and following social norms. At the third stage, individuals seek approval and maintain social order, often upholding rules for the sake of maintaining social order. At the fourth stage, individuals adhere to societal laws and authority figures, understanding and importance of maintaining a functioning society. The third level, which is the post-conventional morality, focuses on universal ethical principles and individuals' rights. At the fifth stage, individuals begin to recognize the importance of individual rights and democracy, understanding the rules and laws can be changed for the greater good. At the sixth and final stage, individuals operate based on their own principles or justice and morality regardless of societal norms. It is important to note that not everyone progresses through all 6 stages, and individuals may fluctuate between stages depending on the situation. Additionally, the stages of moral development are not tied to specific ages, as individuals can develop at their own pace. Understanding Colbert's stages of moral development can help us comprehend how individuals reason about ethical dilemmas and make moral decisions. It is a valuable tool for educators, parents, and anyone interested in understanding the complexities of moral reasoning. Lawrence Colbert stages of moral development offer valuable insights into the ways in which individuals progress through different levels and stages of moral reasoning. By understanding these stages, we can better comprehend how individuals reason about ethical dilemmas can make moral decisions.
Good afternoon everyone, my name is Fatima Shedrabrin Muhajaran from Study Hub 4. My topic is all about Yuri Bronfenbrenner's theory. Yuri Bronfenbrenner was a Russian-American psychologist known for his groundbreaking work in developmental psychology. Born on April 29, 1917, he is best recognized for his ecological systems theory, which describes the complex layers of influence on human development. Bronfenbrenner's theory proposes that children's development is affected by 5 nested systems. Number 1 is microsystem, number 2 mesosystem, number 3 exosystem, number 4 macrosystem, and the last one is chronosystem. Number 1, microsystem. The microsystem encompasses the relationships and interactions a child has with his or her immediate surroundings. Structures in the microsystem include family, school, neighborhood, or child care environments. At these levels, relationships have impact into 2 directions, both away and towards the child. Number 2, the mesosystem. This layer provides the connection between structures of the child's microsystems. More importantly, the mesosystem refers to the connections and relationships that exist between 2 or more microsystems. For example, how a child handles the relationship between his or her parents and his or her teacher. Number 3, ecosystem. In the child development, an ecosystem is a system of external factors that can affect a child's development. Even though the child isn't directly involved with them, the ecosystem is part of Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory. The ecosystem represents the social structures of the immediate context in which families and individuals function. These social structures include neighborhoods, schools, peer groups, churches, and workplace. Fourth is the macro system. In the child development, the macro system is the outermost layer of a child environment that includes the cultural values, laws, and institutions that shape a society. It's the fourth system in Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, which highlights the impact of environmental systems on the child development. The macro system is the overarching institution, practices, patterns of beliefs, cultural values, customs, and laws that characterize society as a whole and take the smaller micro, meso, and exosystem into account. The last one is chronos system. In the child development, the chronos system is a system that considers how time and the era a child lives in influences their development. It's one of 5 systems in Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory. Chronos system. This system encompasses the dimension of time as it relates to a child's environment. Elements with this system can be either external, such as timing of parents' death, or external, such as the physiological change that occur with the aging of a child.